Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with another monthly roundup. In this video, we talk about all the things we've tested over the past few weeks that we haven't had a chance to tell you about in other videos that we've done. So let's dive in and see what we've all picked this month.
Big group test of leggings for Runner's World, and so for this month's picks I've got a few good options to keep your bottom half warm when things get cold. It's been pretty mild here in the UK, so I've kind of suffered in testing, having to test these out when in sort of temperatures that I wouldn't normally run in leggings, but there you go. But these will be good options for when that mercury drops and you need something to keep you a little bit warmer if you're a leggings runner. From that test, one of my favourite pairs of leggings were these Adidas Techfit Control times Rheon leggings. They're a collaboration between Adidas and the material experts at the Rheon labs. They're worn by athletes at the Paris Olympics, and these kind of zebra striped leggings pack a special techno fabric twist. You've basically got these strategically placed stripes of reactive superpolymer. Those stiffen dynamically during high energy runs. So when you're moving, they actually stiffen up to support your muscles and help you eke out more efficiency from every flex. That's the plan anyway. You've got a wide waistband, you've got elasticated cuffs on the bottom. There's a compression-like fit that keeps everything locked in and loaded. That's why I really like them. Meanwhile, there's flat lock seams that also mean you don't get any unwanted chafe. One downside, they lack kind of any storage, but they're sort of meant for racier sessions where you're not supposed to carry stuff. It's been a bit mild here in the UK, but I think these will be excellent for faster sessions and up-tempo runs when it gets properly cold. They might be a bit warm otherwise. I'm really a big fan of the half tights if you've got milder conditions. They pack the same technology but come up just above the knee. Now these Janji trail tights are designed for long hauling where you need to carry kit. Their special move is absolutely storage with a whopping 7 pockets overall built into these tights. There are 2 really sort of small internal front drop-in pockets. Those will happily port the odd gel or a headphones case or something like that. There are 2 sets of side pockets on the legs. These are phone friendly kind of deep drop dual thigh pockets. One of them has a handy key clip. Plus there's rear stowage in the back here that's good enough for a lightweight jacket or other bits and pieces. But it's not just about pack horse potential. They are super soft, silky, mildly compressive. The fabric screams comfort. I also love the modesty protecting jawline frontage if you don't wear shorts over the top. Though the leg pockets could use some tabs, I think, to make that pocket access easier on the move. Now I know we're in autumn with winter on the horizon, but these days that doesn't seem to mean much. And if the blazing sunshine that I had on my recent solo marathon test of the Asics Superblast 2 is anything to go by, running shades are still needed out there. Now I don't tend to invest big bucks in expensive running sunnies. I kind of like my Tifosi Swick sunnies that are cheap enough that it doesn't matter if I lose them or they get broken. But recently I've been falling in love with these Nike Fly Free Soar shades. I was given them to test at the Five Valleys Ultra a month or so back. There's a video on the channel about that. I've been loving them ever since. They come with a clever interchangeable lenses so you can easily choose a tint that you want for different runs and conditions. You get a road tint that's designed to block bright reflected light from hard surfaces, or there's a terrain tint that increases the contrast for better perception on the uneven trails. I really like the adjustable nose bridges that you've got here. It's great for tweaking them to fit my wonky busted nose. There's lots of flex in the arms so you can get a really secure fit. That means they hold well with almost zero bounce, even on steep trail descents. They're pretty lightweight as well. You've got good coverage overall. On runs where I've been blowing hard, I did find there was some fogging up of the lenses, but overall I've found them light, comfortable, protective with good visibility. Now, as I said, they're much pricier than I would usually pay, but I think if you're getting quality, it may be worth the outlay. And if you're more careful than me, I think these are worth a look.
But the first product this month that I want to give a short review of is Carbs Fuel and their energy products. So those are the energy gels there, they're 50 gram gels. And I've also tested out the Sports Mix, which is a high carb sports drink as well. They're a newish company, Carbs Fuel. They're mainly available in the US. I think you can use the feed to get them in the UK, but mostly it's in the US because the aim of them is to provide very good value sports nutrition products. So you're not going to get that so much if you're shipping it to other countries. The gels come in at $2 per gel for a 50 gram gel. So it's $36 for 18 gels. And then it's $36 for a big sachet of the sports drink as well, which you can, vary the amount of carbs in that sports drink depending on how many scoops you put in. But the kind of standard, single serve sachet they provide is 75 grams of carbs, 500 milligrams of sodium in a 500 milliliter drink. So obviously that puts them up against some really big hitters on the market in terms of carbs content. People like Morton, who's my main brand that I use mostly for marathons and hard training runs, SIS and their Beta Fuel range. So you've got the kind of standard glucose to fructose ratio using ingredients like maltodextrin, all the stuff you kind of expect in gels and drinks, at a slightly lower price. So I've been using these for, a couple of tough runs. I did a really long session on Saturday where I used the drink beforehand, the gels during, in the same way I would normally use Morton products. And I use the gel on my long run as well. And, they're very sweet products. That's the first thing I'd say about them, especially the drink. It's really teeth-achingly sweet compared to the more neutral, bland flavors of things like Morton or Precision Fueling and Hydration. The gels you got to take with water for sure. Like, they actually are fairly fluid. You can get them down, but I think that concentration of gel, you want to have some water in there to kind of mix it up to make it a little bit easier to absorb. For me, the products have been fairly tricky on the stomach. I would say, like, I'm someone who's quite sensitive to this. That's why I've tended to use Morton. Like, for all the other claims around Morton and everything like that, I do find that they're easier for me to stomach on long runs in particular. I found these products, similar to other stuff, actually things like Beta Fuel, even the OTE Super Carbs drink, similar level of kind of, a little twitchiness in the stomach, making sure be very careful before I go out, picking routes. So for long runs and stuff, I would be sticking to things like Morton myself. But I think these products will work, just as well as others for people who have got a bit more of an iron stomach than me. And I'll be using them mostly to fuel probably shorter sessions where I'm not so concerned about that. And then switching to Morton for long runs and marathons and that kind of thing where, I want a really reliable source of fueling that I am used to. But I really think you're getting a very good product here for a pretty low price, especially for cyclists who maybe don't have such big concerns about gastro problems because of the slightly different nature of our sports. But yeah, I've enjoyed using them. Look out for the sweetness. I'd say definitely take the gels with water, but if you use them carefully, I think you have got a really good value product here that's delivering the same stuff as other brands at a lower price. Second pick this month is the Hoka Airolite arm sleeves. It is very much arm sleeve season here in the UK, where the temperature actually isn't that bad, but if you're going for a run earlier in the morning, you might want a little bit of extra layering going on. And I really like arm sleeves. I really like the color of these ones. They also come in red and they're nice, kind of comfortable, easy to put on sleeves that stay in place. They have a thumb hole for that extra feeling of coziness and that kind of thing, and they're also very easy to take off on the run and pop in a pocket if you do start to get a little bit warm. But they are very lightweight and breathable sleeves. You can use them for fast running and racing, or I've been using them for long runs as well, and they're nice and comfortable, for a couple of hours at a time. They cost £28 in the UK and $32 in the US. So if you are on the lookout for some arm sleeves, the Hoka Airolite arm sleeves I'd highly recommend. I've been enjoying using them for a mix of runs. And then my third pick this month is the Shredsters shorts from Rabbit. These are the perfect half tights. Someone has finally made the perfect half tights for me. I really like high storage half tights for my racing, in particular for marathons. I've mostly been using a pair of Decathlon shorts that are very hard to get hold of now, as far as I can tell, for my marathons in recent years. The Rabbit Shredsters are going to be my new racing shorts going forward because you've got so much storage here in a really comfortable but still quite lightweight pair of shorts. I think they're a combination of a couple of pairs of shorts from Rabbit, which is the Shredders, I think, which is their trail running shorts, and then the Speedsters racing half tights. So you've got that half tight design. You've got a full waistband with pockets all around. You've got two drop-in pockets that are set quite nicely at the back of your hips. So that's actually where I put two 250ml soft flasks on the run. You've got no bouncing there. They drop in nicely because they're upright. Actually, it's a little bit less kind of leakage and spillage. They want to put the bottles into a waistband horizontal. Very easy to access on the run. You can tighten the drawstring nice and tight so there's no bouncing when you're running, like I say. Then you've got that full waistband. You can pop another soft flask in there. You can pop gels in there. You can put your phone in there. There's just loads of storage held against you very tightly, so you can do fast runs with the shorts. I've done, I think, a 10k race in them. I've done several long runs, fully loading them up. And like I say, I plan to use them for the Valencia Marathon. So yeah, really good half tights. They come at a fairly high price. They're £58 or $70, but I'd pay that for these because they're the perfect ones for me in terms of the storage I need for racing, road events, and in general doing long training runs.
So quite often when we do this video, I try to pick some things that aren't really expensive because we do tend to test quite a lot of things at the run testers, which are quite pricey, and not everybody wants to spend loads of money on their running kit. This top is the Puma Run Favourite top. Now, I picked this up when I was over in Manchester for the Manchester Half Marathon that I did with Mike, and this was part of the event space that Puma had. It cost me £23, and it is the same top that you can find on the website. It just has this customised design on the front for Manchester Half Marathon. Now, the reason I like this top is because it's just really, really comfortable. I have a few tops in my collection which aren't that expensive, a few New Balance tops which I've been wearing for probably about 6 or 7 years now, and they're still my favourite tops because they fit me really, really well. And that's what I really look for when I'm picking a running top. I want something that I just like putting on, fits me well, and it washes well as well. So I really look for long-lasting kit that just does the job for me. So what I like about this one is that the fit is really comfortable. This is a medium. I normally wear mediums in tops, but mediums can be quite varied when you buy them from different brands. If you buy a medium from Soar, it's very tight, and if you buy it from some other brands, it can be quite loose and too loose around the arms. What I generally like is a running top that is a little bit more fitted around the arms and a bit looser around the midriff. So this Puma favourite run tee top, it just fits me perfectly. It's really, really comfortable, and it washes really well as well. I've used this quite a lot over the past few weeks. It washes really nicely. It's got nice sweat wicking abilities, so when you sweat in it, it really dries off quite quickly. And overall, it's just a really solid top if you're looking for a good running top. And this goes down in my collection as one of the ones that I just keep putting on every time I've washed it, because I just find it to be really, really comfortable. Just a great running top to buy that's not that expensive, when some of the other running tops out there are getting pretty expensive these days. So that's the Puma Run Favourite running t-shirt. Another thing I've picked up recently, so it's getting a bit cooler in the UK now, and when I'm going out for runs, it isn't very nice when you just go out for the first couple of kilometres when you're doing an easy run and it's a bit chilly. So what I was trying to find was a cap that I could wear that I could take off after 2 or 3 kilometres and just stuff into a pocket. So what I found was these caps on Amazon. So these are the Einskey skull caps. So these are designed for lots of different purposes. But the reason I really like these, they're like a beanie that you put on. They're really, really thin, but they're really light as well. But they just take the edge off when you go out for a run. So I took this out last night for an interval session. First bit of the interval session was about 15 minutes of easy running. It was a bit chilly. I wanted something to put on my head that just kept the cold off for a bit until I hit the harder session. This just worked perfectly. You get 2 of these for $6.99 on Amazon, and they work really well. I've also been wearing these with my shocks. And they just fit over quite nicely, and I don't have any issue with them at all. When I'm done with them, which is normally when I start sweating, when I've picked up the pace a little bit, you just roll it up, stick it in your back pocket or something, absolutely fine. Also, because of the price, I don't mind if I lose these. I don't mind if I go and do a half marathon or something like that. I need something to keep me warm until the start line, and I don't keep it afterwards, or if I've lost it, it's not a big problem. It's not like one of my really expensive running hats that I've got that I definitely don't want to lose. So that's a really nice, simple thing to pick up if you're just looking for something to take the edge off when you're going out running in the winter months. A couple of months back, I put a running book into the monthly roundup, and a few of you commented saying that's really useful. If there's any other books that are worth putting in, please let us know. So one book which I'm adding this in because I've been listening to it as an audiobook over the past few weeks, is the Jack Daniels running formula. Now, if you are a seasoned runner and you know a lot about training, you will definitely know who Jack Daniels is. He's a very famous coach. He's coached some world famous athletes, but also a lot of coaches use the training techniques and the terminology that Jack Daniels uses when he's talking about running. This book is not a book for if you're a beginner and you want something just to find out a little bit about running and how to train better. This is really goes in depth about a lot of things. It does do quite a good overview. So what I really like about this book is that it covers everything. You've got something that talks about all the different things that you may be hearing about when you're either learning about running or you're going to coaching sessions or anything like that. It covers all of those different things. So everything to do with heart rate and cardiovascular, training sessions, different levels of sessions that you might do from easy all the way up to intervals and tempo sessions and things like that. So it's a really good book if you're really interested in learning more about the specifics of running and how to train more efficiently and how to train at a high level. This book is really good and gives you a really useful overview on all of that. It does get quite in depth though, so there's a lot of graphs in there. So if you're really into your data and you're into learning a lot about research and running information that has got a really deep statistical basis. There's a lot of that in here, so it's not a book that you can easily read. You really have to pay attention to it and reread a lot of bits. But the reason why I've added it into the guide is that I've recently been listening to the audiobook version of it, so I'm trying to listen to a lot more coaching audiobooks at the moment, because I'm marathon training. I'm spending a lot of time running, and I'm using that time to learn a little bit more about training techniques and coaching techniques. So this is a really good one. The audiobook version works really well. You do have to go back a few times, but you do get a PDF that comes with it so that you can delve into some of the information in a bit more detail. But it's a really good thing to listen to when you're out in the run, because you will pick up things that maybe you didn't know, and you can delve into those later. What I would say about this book and the audiobook is that it's a good basis. It really covers a lot of information. So if you want to learn more about how to train efficiently, you will learn something by going through this book. I think it's a bit of a tipping off point. So for some people this will be too in depth. Some people you will already have a lot of this information, but it's really good to cover off all of those different things, and it's nice to do it whilst you're out on the run, because obviously it's time that you're probably the most interested in running because you're doing it. So that's the Daniel's running formula. There are 4 editions of this book now, so it's been going for quite a long time. The most recent version is the 4th edition, and it does have differences between each of the editions. The most recent one has a few new chapters in it, although to be honest, the newer chapters, things about ultra running, are quite simplified. You don't get a lot of information from them, so even if you get an older version, you're not massively losing out from the information you get in the 4th edition. That's it from us on the monthly roundup. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that little bell. And if you go into the caption below, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out at the end of each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.